Hello one and all to Starcraft 2 England. I've got a really good game today. I'm going to say it off because it's quite slow to get going. It's on Shakura's Plateau and it's a Zerg versus Protoss game between VPTang and LiquidCammy, the Protoss. We've got the red Protoss Cammy down in the bottom right and the blue Zerg Tang up in the top left. Now this game is a game I found after quite a little bit of hunting, after seeing a brilliant post on Team Liquid about kind of a more aggressive style Zerg play, where specifically to when a Protoss or someone goes for their typical forge fast expand, especially on a map like this, for the Zerg player to rather than go for that quick third and let the Protoss casually build up a nice strong army to just come and steamroll you, to really put on the aggression early, but rather than it being an all-in type play, to really focus on getting the macro up while putting on the pressure, and this game really does demonstrate it fantastically. So, as I've already given away a little bit, LiquidCammy is going to be going for the Forge Fast Expand, which is a pretty obvious move on this map. I mean, for a start, it's got a nice small ramp off, you can happily wall off, put a cannon there, there's no problem at all. And obviously, now close spawns have been taken off the Blizzard map pool quite a while ago now, actually. I say recently, but it's been quite a while. Obviously, there's no risk of anything too early happening. Cammy is just going up for a 15 gas, and then a 14 pool is probably going to come after this, just for a nice early speed. Main reason being is if a pylon goes down, or cannon rush or anything like that from a forge fast expand, would really put the Zerg player at quite a big disadvantage, really. So we have got the gas finishing up now. 3 drones straight away transferred over. Cammy's putting down his forge, so it is a forge first build. Again, just because some pressure could be put on by some early Zerglings if Tang did want to do that. So I expect to see a cannon come down soon before the Nexus. Again, this is going to be a pretty standard opening. I mean, the Overlord is here just scouting for any shenanigans going on if there's any pylons, but this probe does look like he's just going to run back. Spawning pool will pretty much finish up soon. This Overlord moving up, as obviously the Zerglings will be able to now take over from the scouting, deny any pylon attempts to block any cannons. I mean, very, very safe place for Tang to be right now. The cannon is dropped down now for Cammy. This basically secures him from any sort of early play. He can wall off if he needs to. I mean, again, this probe coming down here might be dropping a pylon for something, we'll wait and see. Next has come down for Cammy. Again, this is before the Zerg player's expansion, which is understandable, but still, these Zerglings are going to do a quick little run around just to check for any proxy pylons. These two are going up to the Zelnurga towers. Any Zerg players watching, always take your towers. It gives you plenty of time to see any move out from a Protoss player, scout anything which might be going on you're not prepared for, and get your units out to defend. So the Zerg player's expansion is down, speed already half done. Again, just still fairly standard, walling off this cannon, the probe completing the wall off to stop any lings running through, and a gateway on its way. Again, both gases are started for the Protoss player, so we'll probably see some upgrades coming down relatively quickly. Again, nothing that exciting going on. This probe will get in and will scout this Baning Nest, which is pretty nice timing, I must say. This will probably result in the Protoss player throwing down some extra cannons just in case a Baning rush is coming. Now the lair is started very, very early. It actually started at 4 minutes 35, and if we quickly have a look at Liquid's view, he did see the lair go, so he knows there is some early kind of tech play going on, but the Baning Nest was cancelled, so some extra cannons are being thrown down, which again, it's a waste of minerals. If nothing's coming, they're minerals which could have been spent on upgrade units, anything. But obviously the cannons will protect him in the early game, but as it seems at the moment, no lings coming out, lair is finished, injects are going down nicely, Tang's expansion is already down. Cybernetics core just finishing up for Cammy now. Cammy rather, I keep saying Cammy, what's wrong with me? Can't read. LiquidCammy is actually going to be going down, the second cannon is finished, and drone transfer coming in, and we've got drop play. Now, this is exactly what I mean about this early pressure. Usually, Zergs, when they see this kind of forge fast expand build, they'll chuck down the third nice and early, or go for some kind of all-in. As you can see, VPTang got good saturation, and his main got his lair, got some key tech, Also got some Zerglings out. Will he deny the scouting? Well, not quite. I mean, if there was a third base down there, the creep obviously would have spread out enough and Cammy would have noticed it. But Warpgate Tech going down, +1 weapons is on its way, but aside from that, nothing else is down. Another Baneling Nest has been thrown down, which begs the question why he cancelled the first one. I mean, personally I wouldn't really have cancelled it. Some Overlords are here ready for the drop play. 14-ish, 12 more Zerglings all coming out, so they're all being rallied down to here, so these two Overlords are probably going to be involved in the drop. 3 gateways and robotics on the way, so at the moment all Cammy has got in terms of defense is 1 gateway, 3 sentries and a zealot, as well as these 3 cannons, which means his front is very secure. But obviously a drop to Zerglings, he's got nothing to defend that with at the moment. And we have actually got some Banelings morphing in here. They're probably going to be dropped into the expansion. They are loading up some Zerglings down, a Hydra Den going down as well. I mean, Hydras aren't ideal, but if you can't see any Colossus play coming out early, Hydraling can be extremely strong versus gateway units. Any gateway pushes melt to Hydras, and also any air pushes. So, I mean, unless he does scout any form of Colossus, Hydras are brilliant. So, some more sentries being warped in. I mean, it hasn't changed his first gateway into a warp gate yet. This Overlord is moving in, as well as some Lings. These Lings are going to cause some damage. I mean, Cammy might pull his units back, which he's going to do. All of Cammy's attention is down here. The Lings are running into the main base. But meanwhile, we have got an Overlord coming in, doing a Baneling drop onto these probes. The probes have been pulled back. Will any of those get taken out? No, they won't, but a lot of losses. I mean, if we quickly switch over, 13 workers killed already from this drop. This is a really nice position. It is going to get cleaned up now. I mean, these sentries will hold it off, but the damage has already been done. These Overlords do need to get out safely. There's some more units being warped in somewhere. This Observer, I'm not quite sure why it's just sitting in the base. I mean, we'll be a lot better off moving it back. Overlord speed is now done and some Hydralisks are on the way. I mean, Hydras are really going to complement this. At the moment, LiquidCammy hasn't got any Colossus out, hasn't even started Colossus Tech, has got Templar Archives, but they haven't started anything yet, so we'll possibly seeing either Dark Shrine or maybe a Templar Archive. We'll wait and see. A cannon is down in the main just to try and protect that mineral line from any Ling drops. The sentries are going to clean it up quite nicely. This Observer is going to go and scout for these extra bases just to see what is going to be coming in. I mean, he will see that there is no bases down there. The third base has been taken close. Again, there's pros and cons to taking the close base there over this side base here. Generally, whether it's a mobile army or not. Again, Templar Archives are coming down now, so we should see some High Templar, but I mean, this is quite a lot of forces coming out for VPTang now. These Hydras are going to absolutely melt through sentries and stalkers. I mean, these Overlords here are in a bit of a dangerous spot. I mean, if this army does move down, all of those Overlords could get taken out quite easily, and that would be a big loss for Tang and would supply block him. The Spire is now coming out. Now, I really, really like this transition. I mean, I'm not quite sure where he has dropped his Spire down. Oh, there we go. This transition from Hydra into a Mutalisk play is brilliant, because your Protoss player, oh, we're missing some stuff down here. I think one of those Overlords did get taken out, but not much other damage. It has forced the cancel on the Protoss third. But no, as I was saying, Spire from Hydralisk, absolutely brilliant, because the Robotics Bay is coming down, because those Hydras were scouted. Now, obviously, Hydras and Lings are great against gateway units, but really, really weak to Colossus splash damage. Whereas, obviously, if he's investing in that Colossus tech, then Mutalisks, Corruptors are going to do massive damage. Now, creep is being spread by the Overlords. Again, this gives the Hydras extra move speed. The Hydras are going to move in. They're going to see that Templar Archives and snipe that down, and that's going to be quite a big loss for Cammy there, because that's some key tech. Again, puts him back until that Robotics Bay is done. Some quite big damage coming down here. The force fields are done, but they're going to get pulled out, and I don't think any of those Overlords will get sniped. Nope, everyone safely gets out. So, very little losses. He sniped some key tech, and 9 Mutalisks are also now on their way, as well as a 4th base already half done in that time. Now, this is just really, really good macroing up behind. I mean, To be honest, when you're on 4 bases against 2, you're in a good position. Colossus are coming down, and there is a quite significant upgrade lead. I mean, I don't actually think Tang has any upgrade at all. No, he's got no evolution chambers, so there is an upgrade deficit, but obviously the army size, I mean, well, there's already a 20 food deficit for Cammy, as well as, I mean, Tech's quite a long way back. Ground weapons 3 are coming down, and his extended thermal lance, and the first Colossus is now down. But I mean, if we switch to the units tab, 13 Mutalisks already against, well, 4 Stalkers and 6 Sentries. I mean, that on its own is going to be really quite hard to defend. Mutalisks at the moment are very, very strong in ZvP. The 5th base now already being taken for Tang. I mean, the 3rd base is only half done for Cammy as well. Now, these rocks are going to be taken out. It's a nice expansion point, but these 2 overlords are scouting it quite nicely. We've got movement of units up to the top. I mean, he's reinforcing still, bringing them in all the way over. I mean, this is going to be a nice round. He can attack the main base. This army is quite out of position. I mean, force fields could be quite nice here. I mean, we'll stop most of the ground army, and you see the Hydras are melting to the Colossus, but I mean, that many Mutalisks, there's just nothing to defend. The Lings are running in as well. No matter what really happens here, I mean, this is good game really. He's going to call it any second. And there we go. So, I just realised I've been a bit of an idiot. I left the replay timer up, so everyone knew how long that was. I mean, again, this is only my 4th cast now, so I do apologise for that. So, kind of in my post-replay analysis of it, I mean, firstly, I always check the injects of the Zerg player. I mean, 84 energy here, and 106 energy there, and 46 there. So there have been quite a lot of missed injects. I actually put it through Stacraft 2 gears, which is great for looking at inject percentages and things like that. And VPTang actually had, on average, just under a 14-second gap between all of his injects. Now, again, he was putting on a lot of pressure, so obviously that uses up your APM. It does take your concentration off, but as a Zerg player, your injects are one of the key mechanics you need to be hitting. It improves your macro, your economy, your army size. Everything is really reliant on getting good injects. So, again, he did win the game, but something, if it was me playing, I'd want to focus on getting those injects up while keeping that really heavy harassment up. I mean, he did deny this 3rd brilliantly. I mean, Tang's got 5 bases to a 3rd, which had only just finished at the time. The main was nearly mined out, and the natural was running pretty low as well, so on a war of attrition, he was doing well. From the Protoss' point of view, I mean, there was no pressure at all, and that is again kind of a kickback to the older style Protoss play of just sitting behind your nice big wall in, macroing up, getting a really good economy, getting key tech, and then moving out with your deathball army, which is great. Apart from the fact Zergs have got so good at building up a really good economy, knowing how many drones they can get away with, and once you add in pressure to that, I mean, the Protoss player just doesn't have the opportunity to build up that big army, and it's why this effective, aggressive Zerg play against the Forge Fast Expand is so good, because the Protoss player just doesn't have the time to get the key tech and defend, throw down cannons, defend against drops, anything like that. Just really puts you in a bad spot. So the last point I wanted to make was, again, just reiterate that Hydra into Spire. I really like that play, especially when you know that there isn't any form of Colossus Rush, because the only thing which Protoss has in its arsenal to really combat Ling Hydra is the Colossus or High Templar, both of which are quite a long way down the tech path. So, especially on a Forge Fast Expand, when you don't really see an early 3rd or anything, you know something's coming up. Now, if that is Stargate play, then obviously Hydras are fantastic against any form of air unit. It would be great defense. The Stargate play won't really work out very well at all. And if it's against the gateway push, then Ling Hydra is stupidly strong. I mean, gateway units literally melt to Hydras. I mean, I do like getting the Groove Spine upgrade. I think the +1 range is really beneficial, especially if it is an air push, because that extra range really makes defending a hell of a lot easier, and gives you the opportunity to really kind of punish anything but perfect force fields. So that's the end of this game, and I will try and get some more up soon. Thank you for listening. Click the subscribe button. If you do have any replays, then on the channel there's a link to an email address you can send your replays in. I accept them from all level games. If they're lower level, then I will try and give an analysis on what could be done to improve, key areas to focus, or if it's a really interesting game, funny game, anything like that. I mean, variety is the excitement of life. So hopefully I'll get some more videos up soon. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do apologise for having the timer up. See you soon.